Ladies and gentlemen, KocoSports.com proudly presents Wrestle AM. It's half wrestling show, half morning show, pretty much all BS. And of course, you got the Koco crew here holding it down live. Here's truly sexiest man on all of wrestling radio. That's right, boom, boom, here, shaking the room live from the RVA, Richmond, Virginia. And of course, join me there way across the pond in England, the man whose penis is named after Big Ben, talking about LK. What's up, buddy?
That's good. I'm shocked to keep coming up with these. You're going to keep going with them. It's bloody brilliant.
Yes, I am.
Oh, it shocked me every time. But yeah, I enjoyed Lucha this week. What were your overall thoughts? Win, loss, or tie into infantry? I'm going to give it a win. I thoroughly enjoyed this episode. What did you give it, Booms?
You know what? I'm going to give it a win. I thoroughly enjoyed it. This show just... I think they've started to hit their stride in Season 3. This was something that... They kept hyping it up. They're like, Season 3 is going to be really awesome, but I really want you guys to focus on Season 2 right now. It's like, no, but Season 3 is going to be really good. I'm like, okay, but it's like, can we do something about Season 2? And we get towards the end of Season 2, and I'm like, dude, Season 2 really is not as good as 1. Oh, no, but Season 3 is going to be really good. It's like, okay, after I sit through Season 2, Season 3 better, it better fucking put out here. And so far they have. They've hit their stride. And I've really enjoyed Season 3 thus far. So I got to give it a win.
Awesome, perfect. What we'd like to see, 2 wins in a row. Looking forward to what they have to say. There's going to be one person like, loss, Lucha still exists. There's a person in the comments the other week saying this show is still around. I'm like, dude, come on. Just because it's not fucking TNA, imbecile.
Well, I mean, I will admit it is hard to watch. El Rey is not on a lot of cable providers. Like, my cable provider has El Rey and El Rey Network, and I'm not making this up because I do have it on my cable package. Is that the whole channel is built around 2 shows. They've got 2 original shows that they have built because it's Robert Rodriguez's. He's a director here in the U.S., particularly out of Texas. He's got this whole network based off 2 shows, Lucha Underground and Dusk Before Dawn. There was a movie that had George Clooney and Quentin Tarantino in it. It's called From Dusk Till Dawn. It's a vampire movie. It's actually worth checking out, and I think they made some like spin-off movies from that. But they've taken this and they made a series out of it, like a TV series out of From Dusk Till Dawn, and which I haven't seen, so I really can't comment on that. And so if you watch it any other time, you're going to be watching it for like reruns of like Knight Rider, Airwolf, which was like old TV shows back in the 80s, and then you're going to watch it for Kung Fu flicks, from back like in the 70s, and then like B films, cult films. I mean, I think they're doing like a Bloodsucker Saturday. They're going to have like Dracula 2, Dracula 3, Dracula 3000, The Daybreakers. So they're going to do like a big marathon of Dracula films all through Saturday.
I saw that. I saw that was advertised because during the start of the show, the screen was cut in half. I don't know if you had that in El Rey. The stream I was watching.
Yeah, the stream I watched had that. I didn't get to watch it because I was actually doing the show with you last night when that was going on. But afterwards, I watched the World Series and was able to catch back up on Lucha Underground today. But on the feed that I had, it was that happened a couple of times. It was annoying as fuck.
Really irritating, especially when it was in Dario's office and half the screen's him and half of it is this advert for Dracula 1 and 2. It's like, dude, who gives a shit? Lucha Underground's on. That should be the priority. Anyway, break it down. Let's break it down.
All right, first thing we have here is we start out with Montanza Cueto in the ring, and Dario comes out, says we're going to do the Dario's Dial of Doom. We've got Aztec Warfare coming up. Montanza, his brother, is going to be number 1 in Aztec Warfare, but you know what? What the hell? Let's spin the wheel. He spins it. It comes up on Dario's choice, and he keeps wondering, well, who should I pick? And he picked Cortez Castro. Of course, Cortez Castro, storyline-wise, I believe, got his arm broken 3 weeks ago by Pentagon Dark. So Cortez Castro comes out, one of his right arm in a cast, a kendo stick in his left hand. He goes back in there, and it went about how you thought it would go. There was a cool spot where Montanza broke Castro's cast off Castro tried to make a comeback by smacking him in the head with remnants of that cast. It just didn't work out. Hits him with Wrath of the Gods. Pins him 1, 2, 3. It was about like two maybe 3 minute match. It was okay for what it was. And then Dario was telling Cortez Castro, hey, you know what? Take your time off. Rest up. And we'll see you back. And it's like, okay. So I thought it was a pretty decent opener. It continues the storyline because now that Joey Ryan outed his partner, and they know he's a cop, and it makes sense why he's going to try to punish him, try to break him. So it makes sense storyline. I like that, and I think some people have criticized Dario's Dial of Doom, saying, "Oh, it makes the title seem less." I think no, it actually hypes up Montanza because it's the Lucha Underground Championship. I don't think it trivializes it. I think it hypes up Montanza as this unstoppable beast. It's I'm so confident that my brother can beat anybody. I'm just going to put everybody's name up here on a random wheel, and I'm going to spin it, and he can literally beat anybody in the locker room without any preparation whatsoever. And with the exception of Prince Puma coming within an eyelash, Montanza's turned back every challenge at him thus far. And even the cockiness of Dario was like, you know what, we're going to put him in Aztec Warfare. In fact, we're going to put him in at number 1. That's how confident I am he's going to win. So I don't think it's true. Yeah, go ahead. What's the butt monkey?
The butt monkey is. It's on first. I don't like seeing the Lucha. It's like in WWE, it's like in TN, it's like in Ring of Honor, it's like in whatever fucking company I'm watching. I want the world title to go on last every single time without fail. And this is like the 5th time out in this new season that the Lucha Underground title's kicked off the show. I don't like that. And I know it doesn't work with Lucha Underground. It doesn't specifically run off the traditional wrestling rules. But
right.
I care about traditional wrestling rules because I'm a sado. So I don't like seeing the Lucha Underground title defended in the opener. I just don't like that. I never have, never will. But as for the match itself, I thought not enough credit was given to Cortez because that whole entire match, he sold and sold and sold.
He did.
Phenomenal selling.
I felt so bad for him. It's like legitimately, I felt so bad for him in that match. It was just
obviously I haven't read spoilers. I haven't read spoilers, but I think go on.
I was going to say part of me was just like, come on. Like me, like the fan in me was like Castro. It was like Cortez, man. Don't go out there. Don't go out there, man. You're not. You can't do this. You can't do this to yourself. And he got in there and he got hurt even worse. And you're like, stay down, man. Just stay down. I mean, it was just really emotional.
Well, I liked. Oh, my fucking train of thought. I don't read spoilers, so I think a great moment could be Cortez finally finding out Joey Ryan stooged him off somehow, and then have Joey Ryan get a win over someone, and then have Cortez Castro with their kendo stick come out and just smash the shit out of Joey Ryan and just kick the shit out of him. I think that could be an Ultima Lucha match.
Yeah, that needs to be I would save that for Ultima Lucha Tres. Because I would not have, I mean, unfortunately, I think they kind of like screwed the pooch by having Joey Ryan it's just blatantly known that he outed his partner. I think maybe that could have been a mystery, just something they could have done.
Cortez doesn't. Does Cortez?
Yeah,
Cortez know?
No, Cortez doesn't. Cortez doesn't know. We know, so we're waiting on him to figure that out.
Exactly. Maybe there could be like a torturing spot where Dario Cueto in the back is torturing Cortez Castro, and then Joey Ryan whispers in his ear, "It was me," and then they have a huge, massive match at Ultima Lucha.
What I'm saying is, I think they could have done something where we, as the audience, could have tried to figure out who stooged him off.
I don't know. It's different because every TV show. I like that aspect. I like knowing, and then I'm like, "Oh, you idiot! He stooged you in," and I like it. Adds a different element to watching the show.
Right, and to add a point here about the world title going on last, I know exactly where you're coming from, and I agree with you to an extent, but I actually don't mind it being the first thing because I think it's better to have it go on first than to have just like, okay, we go through like this hellacious match, some kind of advertised event, and then okay, now your main event is going to be an unadvertised squash match. Montanza versus just somebody random in the background. And you're kind of like, well, I'm not so sure. And we know that they're not going to win.
That's not my problem.
I know, but I
get
kind
where
of
you're
agree
coming
with
from.
that.
I just feel there's just no excuse for not having a good, because you could have done the Dario's dial, and then you could have hyped the main event with Cortez going in the office saying, "Boss, I can't do this. What are you playing at?" Dario's going, "Fuck off, you little rat. You're in the main event and it's booked." You could have built, and the match could have gone on longer if they wanted it to.
Yeah, they could have. No, all in all, I was satisfied with it. I mean, I think it was some good story, good, ring psychology, some physical storytelling. Speaking of that, then we go to backstage. Son of Havoc, representing Mascarita Sagrada, was asking for a match between Sagrada and Famous B. Dario basically said, "Okay, I'll tell you what. Here's what's going to happen. If you win your match against Dr. Wagner Jr., you will. I'll book a match next week between Mascarita Sagrada and Famous B, and and I'll tell you what, you get to pick the stipulation. However, if you lose your match against Dr. Wagner Jr. tonight, I'll still book the match, but they'll get to pick the stipulations." And I thought that was well done. I kind of put a little extra emphasis on the match, put a little oomph on it, if you will.
A reason to care about this next match.
Exactly.
In all due respect, obviously, to the wrestlers involved, there's something on the line. It means you're more emotionally attached to what's going on.
Yeah, well, then you always have to up the whenever you have like a rematch. Like, I mean, this is a rematch between Dr. Wagner Jr. and Son of Havoc. I believe it's their third meeting overall, but their second one this season. If you're going to do that, every time you do a rematch, you just can't have just another regular match. You got to have some kind of way to up the ante to where that way it's somewhat fresh and the audience will care about it. And I think that accomplished that. And the match itself was actually pretty good. Son of Havoc took the advantage early on. I apologize. They exchanged chop with each other. I like that springboard dive that Son of Havoc hit. Wagner, he hit Havoc on the turnbuckle. They knocked Wagner down. That set him up for the shooting star press. Gets the win. And then Havoc kind of spills out with okay, here's what was going to happen. And Sagrada whispers into his ear and says, okay, next week it's going to be a Believers Backlash match. Excuse me. And to up the ante even more, saying he's encouraging the Believers to bring whatever weapons they can get their hands on. All weapons will be legal.
Yeah, I mean, it could be good. It could be good. And also, with what you missed was whether site you're using to get your results from, whoever writ that article should be fired. I'm a professional note taker. I got a pen and I got a piece of paper. That's all I need. You missed the Prince Puma promo.
Oh, yeah.
You missed the Prince Puma promo.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
So he comes out. He says he won't stop until Mil Muertes in the coffin after what Mil Muertes did to Conan, his mentor. He challenges Mil Muertes to a grave consequence match. Katrina accepts. They brawl until they do this awesome stare down where Mil is in a suit and mask. I love it when they're in suits and masks. I find that so fucking funny.
Yeah, that does look kind of cool, doesn't it?
It looks so awesome, especially with his silver and black one. It's fucking amazing. So you have Mil on the floor, Prince Puma in the ring, massive stare down.
I don't know why, but why is that purple tie? That just adds so much to it.
It did. It felt like, I think Vampiro said it, it looked like he was going to a funeral, which was really, poetic considering they're having basically a coffin match next week, casket match next week. Casket, it's called a fucking coffin. In America, do you call a coffin a casket?
It's interchangeable.
Okay, so we just called it coffin because we're English and, we created the English language and you hacked it, bastards.
Yeah, we even added our own little spin to it. I mean, you ain't got words like y'all.
Dude, Americans are so lazy they had to steal a language. That's how lazy Americans are. That is why they're the laziest. They are so lazy. They really are. Why can't American have their own language? But then again, without being said, if Americans did have their own language, I probably wouldn't have to watch WWE, would I?
No, you wouldn't.
No, I watch Mexican and Japanese, so there's no excuse for language barrier. But with WWE, it's talking bullshit, so it's different.
Two nations divided by a common language.
I would think if there wasn't this big fuck off ocean in between us, if you connected England, fuck Scotland and Wales, if you, so I apologise, if you connect England to the south of America and just made it like its own little part of America, the south, east, west, you wouldn't tell the difference. You'd be able to tell the difference. I think that's what will happen. Evolution should happen, and we should join with America, and we should conquer the world.
Well, sounds good to me. Cause it'd be good because I wouldn't have to go too far to get some good fish and chips.
Dude, I know what I went to the fish and chip shop today. I didn't have fish and chips. I did have a battered sausage and chips. It was very, very nice.
It actually does sound good. And you wouldn't have to go too far to get some real barbecue.
Oh,
I'm telling
I'm
you,
hungry now.
If you come to the U.S., I will take you out, and I will take you to a nice barbecue restaurant here in Virginia, or wherever the hell I'm living when you come and visit.
Sounds man with a plan.
Yep, I'll even take you to the Waffle House for breakfast.
Oh, dude, I don't do breakfast. I don't eat breakfast.
Well, that's the thing about Waffle House. They're open 24 hours a day. You can get breakfast, lunch, or dinner anytime.
That's what I like to hear. Only in America can you order breakfast at 9 p.m. at night.
Yes, yes, you can. There's nothing wrong with it either.
It's like, don't your McDonald's serve breakfast 24, like not 24 hours, obviously breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Is that how American McDonald's works?
Yeah, McDonald's just started doing that like a few months ago. Like this past summer, they started offering a deal where you could buy breakfast item, not the entire breakfast menu, but a good portion of the breakfast menu throughout the day.
Hash browns, like the hash browns, and do you get the muffins or?
Yeah, like I think the hash browns, some of the biscuits, and I think like the pancakes were biscuits. McDonald's biscuits.
Oh, are you for real?
Well,
biscuits.
Like I think they're called scones in your neck of the woods. Maybe because they're
scones.
They're not like they're not because when you say like when I say biscuits, I think like breakfast item. Like I guess you're thinking of what we would almost consider like a cookie.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay, a cookie. Yeah, well, they in England they sell the cookies all day from breakfast to lunch to dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Fascinating talk of McDonald's here.
Yes.
You should eat healthily. There's us talking. Go on, what we got next? Next?
Next, we go to the main event, Chavo Guerrero Jr. versus Rey Mysterio Jr. It's a good old-fashioned loser leaves town. Whoever loses, they have to leave the temple forever. Chavo Classic, as he loves to be called, out there supporting his son. I think this was one of Chavo's best matches that he's had. This was a really nice one. Chavo, man, is just... I don't know what it is. When he left WWE and went to Lucha Underground, it's like his career, just like, at least match-wise, got so much better, better presentation. But anyway, they started flipping and flopping early. Yeah, it's great commentary. They're flipping and flopping early. They did a nice playoff where they were working on the legs. Rey did a nice drop kick to Chavo in the corner. Chavo repaid the favor, knocked his leg on the ring post to the outside. They took him to the outside. Rey hit a springboard cross body, missed a 619. Chavo Sr., he comes in the ring with a chair, but then he turned, it looks like he's about to crack Rey Mysterio, but then he turns around and hits his own son. And I was like, that doesn't make sense. I was like, wait, and then the referee calls for the belt. I'm like, oh, that makes perfect sense now. That they were calling this was going to be a disqualification. Chavo Guerrero was going to win it by disqualification. That means Rey Mysterio had to leave. However, Dario came out and said, oh, hell no. I love violence in my matches. I do not like these disqualifications. In fact, we're going to restart the match, and it's going to be anything goes. So they ring the bell. Rey Mysterio takes it to both the Chavos. He let them both up for the 619. Chavo Jr. moved out of the way, but Classic took a shot right to the face. He went to the outside. Rey got hit with the Three Amigos. There was one spot where Rey Mysterio was locked in that half Boston Crab. Managed to get out of that. He hit tried a series of pins. Rey hit the 619 on Chavo Jr., dropped the dime, got the 1-2-3. Rey Mysterio wins. This means Chavo Guerrero has to leave the temple forever. I think it was a fantastic match. I was throwing because everybody walking in there, everybody's like, well, Rey Mysterio is going to win this match. Rey Mysterio is going to win this match. Then when you saw that disqualification, you're like, oh shit, is he really? It's like, dude, did he really lose the match? And then Dario comes out and restarts the match. So that's what I like about a good promoter. They can take what you think and use that against you and actually get you more into the match.
Yeah, that was brilliant. Like the half crab at the end, I thought, fuck, he might actually tap. It was brilliant. I really enjoyed it. One of Chavo's best performances for a very long time. The Dario bit did confuse me because with Dario, I will put my hands up. He is the VIP of Lucha Underground.
Mm-hmm.
And when Dario came out and he did that, it was really a babyface thing to do. And earlier in the night, he was talking about crushing Cortez, who was the babyface. So he's kind of like a heel and a babyface. It's just really confusing. I just get confused with Dario. Sometimes he's face, sometimes he's heel. I quite frankly, with Lucha Underground though, I don't tend to heels and faces because again, you don't use the traditional wrestling rules because it's kind of creating its own rules. It's in its own. Vince McMahon would come in his pants if he heard this. Its own universe. It really is its own universe, its own rules, its own stick. So Dario come out and say, hey, look, ref, what are you doing? I like violence. This fucking continues. I don't know. But it was a really good match. One of Chavo's best ones he's had in a while. But I guess he's going to be an agent backstage, I'm guessing.
Yeah, because I think he's already like a consultant. He's already a consultant with them. He does some kind of backstage work, and I think this just kind of frees him up to do more, to dedicate more of his time to that than to worry about being like a on-air performer and everything that comes along with that. Because he really didn't wrestle. Yeah, he really didn't wrestle all that much when he was active, and I think this just frees him up a little bit.
But at least now he can look back and say, he had a decent WWE run. He was WWE Tag Champ, Cruiserweight Champ. He had a decent enough WWE run. His TNA run was a bit meh. Like, Chavo and Hernandez are coming in my head and I really badly want to get it out. And then he came to Lucha Underground and he had a decent run. He could look back in his career and say, WCW was a success, WWE was a success, TNA was a success, and Lucha Underground was a success.
What do you think the highlight of his career would be?
If you asked him, it would probably be Tag Champs of Eddie, because I thought that was a really good team. I would say.
I think that's just I think that's where his career peaked.
But his stuff in ECW was quite good. Not the original ECW, the W version of ECW.
I know what you mean. Yeah, with La Familia.
Yeah, I enjoyed that stuff. But then I was 10, 11 at that time, so I would have enjoyed anything.
I think it's and they brought up Eddie Guerrero and the homages to Eddie Guerrero with the Three Amigos, the little shoulder shuffle. I think it's actually kind of funny, and I don't mean like funny ha. I think it's just kind of funny, strange that after Eddie's death, you thought Chavo would have been maybe in line for some kind of push or whatever. He did get like a small bump. He got like a win over JBL on the Eddie Guerrero tribute show they did on Raw. He dropped the whole Kerwin White gimmick for that. But it was Rey Mysterio who capitalized on that. In fact, when that was going on, I had just started Internet Wrestling Radio. And at the time, we called Rey Mysterio the charity case champion. We were saying the only reason he's champion because he decided to exploit his friendship with Eddie. But here was the guy, that was his friend. Here's the guy's actually blood relative, and he's not really I don't think he got anything out of that.
Mysterio was still over though.
Mm-hmm.
He was still getting big pops. Like, it's not like Chavo didn't, like, all due respect, because he wasn't getting mega pops. Mysterio was. Like, I understand people Mysterio's a leech, leeching off his best friend passing away. I can see that. I really, really can. And I thought Orton did a great job of exploiting that in the Mania 26 match with Mysterio, Angle, and Orton. I thought he did a great job there. And the writing of that made sense. But in the end of the day, I still think, even if Eddie didn't pass, he would have had a big role at that Mania. I'm not saying, world title. I'm really not saying that.
Because that's what I'm saying. I think he would have had a big role. Like, had Eddie not died, he would have been, he would have turned heel. He would have been WWE champion again over Batista. And I think maybe they would have set up a match with Rey Mysterio, but I don't think Mysterio would have won the championship. I don't think he ever would have won it. In fact, when he did, he had arguably one of the worst runs as champion I've ever seen.
It was pretty bad, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to remember a title defense he had. He had a defense against JBL at Judgment Day, he lost it again at.
I think he lost it to the Great Khali. I think, but
no, it was Booker T. It was Booker T, wasn't it? Because Booker T won the King of the Ring at Judgment Day, and then at the Great American Bash, he beat Mysterio for the title.
Because Mysterio always lost his matches, with the exception of the ones that counted on pay-per-view.
Yeah. So Mysterio's title run, you had a victory over JBL. I think that's about it pay-per-view wise. He lost on his second pay-per-view, so he didn't really have a long title run. And then in 2010, he had, his world title run that lasted 5 minutes because Kane cashed in Money in the Bank. 2011, Cena then beat Mysterio like 2 hours after he won it.
Yeah. Mysterio wins the championship. Cena comes back and cashes in, and he loses it later that night.
Oh, poor Mysterio. So he combined, he probably had about 2 months and 3 hours. Poor bastard.
Yeah, I know. But Chavo, man, I think Chavo got a raw deal because, he was only known really as Eddie's nephew. He had the little riding horse, the stick horse gimmick at WCW. He was part of Misfits in Action. Yeah, I think he won like the Cruiserweight Championship. He had that run with Los Guerreros. He did the run as the ECW champion with La Familia. And then he had that, I think what killed his career, at least in WWE, aside from, Kerwin White was afterwards. I think the thing that absolutely killed his career was that feud he had with Hornswoggle that just didn't stop.
Oh, that was so bad. That was horrific.
If you lose once or twice, and that would have been the end of it, I think he could have recovered from that. But instead, that feud just kept going and kept going and kept going, and it got more and more ridiculous. And I think by the time they were done with that, Chavo had zero credibility left, and he had no choice but to go. And then he went to TNA, did that tag team with Hernandez, which I think was okay. And then, of course, the opportunity for Lucha Underground started, and he went there, and I think he made the most of it. But let me ask you this. This is professional wrestling. And sometimes when, loser leaves town, you're banned from the temple, sometimes, stuff happens. Do you think we've seen the last of Chavo Guerrero in a wrestling ring, especially in Lucha Underground?
Obviously I didn't read spoilers, so I don't know, but I don't think Chavo will be back in a ring. The Lucha Underground ring being, he could probably still do somewhere else. Me and Sammy, we've watched CMLL, we've watched Lucha Elite and AAA, and he's not on any of those rosters. So he's legit specifically for Lucha Underground. So maybe that is his career over. Who knows? But he's got to have one last career match in Mexico. It's got to be done. I reckon he could do big money with that. Maybe Chavo versus Rey in a career versus career match in Mexico. Maybe Triple Mania or a CMLL special or something along those.
Yeah, you could do something like, if you want to go traditional, you could do hair versus mask.
But do it career versus mask, and then have Chavo ride off. Because, but in the end of the day, he's still in great shape. He is in great shape. He's in great shape. Doesn't look that old. Why say your career's over when, if worst case scenario, you're low on money, oh fuck, I can just do an indie booking down the road in Texas.
You know what's actually kind of scary? I'm thinking this might be the end of the Guerrero legacy.
No, doesn't Guerrero have Chavo? Doesn't he have a kid?
Well, here's the thing.
I'm not sure about that.
The Guerreros have been a staple in professional wrestling since like the 1960s. So they've been in there, but here's the thing. I know Chavo may have kids, but I don't think he's got any that are wrestling. The closest we ever had. Not yet. Yeah, the closest we ever had was one of Eddie's daughters. She was wrestling for, I think it was like Florida. No, I think it was NXT. I forgot, the name and everything. The name she was under. I think she wound up marrying Aiden English. but she wound up just quitting, and I don't know, she was unhappy with it and quit, and that's it. Unless I don't think. God, I don't think there's going to be any more Guerreros after this, unless the only way I can see this is if Eddie's daughters have kids and they get to the wrestling business. I mean, I think we're done with the Guerreros for a while. Hopefully not forever. But
that's really horrible.
That's kind of scary. I mean, it's like to have wrestling without Guerreros. I mean, it's just kind of heartbreaking.
There's always one. There is always one. What live comments have we got?
All right, let's take a look at some live comments. We actually got a lot tonight here. We got Yuri Blake, I am Mikey Mike Ashman, Chauncey Bullock here, and Heavy J. So we're going to start at the top and work our way down. So guys, just get your questions and comments coming here. What are your thoughts on Lucha Underground doing tours outside the temple? Do you feel that the temple adds so much to the settings? If Lucha Underground ever did a show outside the temple, it could take away from the gimmick? No. Yeah, it's special. It's part of it, but you need to promote your brand. You need to get fans. You need to expose your product to more people, and the only way you're going to do that is get out of the temple. Because the only way, if me and you want to go see Lucha Underground, we have to go to Boyle Heights, which is a suburb of Los Angeles. And that's the only way we can see that. Now, but if you get them outside the temple, you take them to, keep them nearby. You can take them into the Southwest. You can take them into Arizona, New Mexico, Texas. You can take them into places like that and do fine. But
as long as it's Karen.
Yeah, you're exposing Lucha Libre to a different set of fans. And maybe some people are like, well, I know who some of these guys are. I've never seen Lucha Underground. I've heard about it. Let me see what they're all about and try to build up a bigger fan base. So, no, I think it's a good idea to keep doing that.
Yeah, me too. I think it's a good idea. As long as they tape TV at the temple and do house shows all around the world, I have no issue with that. The TV should and always should be at the temple. However, I do think they should do house shows in England, in Mexico, in Japan, in America, all around America, and Canada. I really think they should do it worldwide. I really do. I mean, if they came to England, I'd buy tickets in a heartbeat. I really would.
The advantage of Lucha Underground doing the show the way they do it, if, let's just say a TV station in England decides to pick it up, they don't have to start right now, because like a regular wrestling promotion, they don't have to just start right now and try to get people caught up. No, they can play episode 1 of season 1 of Lucha Underground and completely work their way, because it's a TV show.
Exactly, and TNA lost their UK TV deal. So starting January 2007, there's no wrestling on Challenge. And Challenge is no matter what TNA say, they'll deny this till they're blue in the face. Challenge is a fucking phenomenal network. Every person who owns a TV set has access to Challenge, and it's in the top fucking 50. The top 50 Challenge, top 50 TV channel, Challenge is on. Mm-hmm. So, options are Ring of Honor, Lucha Underground, or ICW. I think it'll be ICW, because ICW have a weekly program and they air on the Fight app, the FITE app, and they also air it on. Mm-hmm. And I think they're in 30 different countries. I remember reading. So I went to an ICW show on Saturday, and I remember seeing on the banner it's like Fight airing in 30 different countries, etc., etc. But I hope that either ICW, Ring of Honor, or Lucha Underground, and like you said, they could start with Lucha Underground season 1 and then work their way up, and then they would catch up eventually.
Yeah, you could probably, right now with how far ahead they are, they could probably play a couple episodes per day. Just do it you could probably almost do, or I don't know if you could, you could do it weekly, play like a couple episodes per week, and get the rest of the fans caught up in no time.
Yeah, it is an option. And I think with this Flow Slam, have you read into this Flow Slam?
I've heard about it. I'm just really not that emotionally invested in it right now.
Okay, well, I get paid in roughly about an hour. Okay, I get paid in about an hour. So I will be jumping on and ordering this Flow Slam. It'll probably be about £16, convert the dollars to an English pound, £16. So you get Evolve pay-per-views live, Evolve archives, Shine live, Shine archives, Full Impact Pro live, Full Impact Pro archives, Dragon Gate USA archives. Dude, I'm so fucking looking forward to this. Tomorrow night, I get to watch Shine 38 live, which normally would cost me £9. Then next week, I get Evolve 72 and 73, which each would have cost me £10, which means I'm already saving £9 already. That's just for the 3 iPay-per-views, not alone all the on-demand. I think it's a great deal, and I recommend everyone to go check it out. Flowslam.tv. Really do recommend it. I'm pumped and looking forward to watching Shine tomorrow.
All right, so let's get to the. Hang on, let me find the next question. Okay, here it is. This is from Mike Ashman. Do you think an Ultima Lucha in a new temple or location would add something refreshing for the major event? I think they're going to keep, Lucha Underground is going to keep doing shows at the temple because they just want it to be there. I think that was one question they were going to do. That was a question surrounding season 2, was were they going to move the temple, were they going to move the location? But no, they wanted to keep, even though it was a little more expensive in some respects, they wanted to keep the temple there in Bowl Heights. They wanted to keep it in a primarily Hispanic neighborhood. They wanted to keep it there for the feel. They liked the way everything is. Now, I think if the show got stale, I think, yeah, you could move it. I mean, there's a lot of TV shows. One that comes to mind is Archer. Archer always did, I think their show was based out of New York, but then they moved it to Los Angeles. At one point, they split one where they were troping around the globe. And it just kind of, it kind of spices things up. So I would actually just keep doing it until it got stale or they couldn't get people to fill the temple. Then that's when I would move it. But for the most part, no, just keep it where it's at.
Yeah, me too. I like the temple. Big fan of the temple.
Let's see. Could Del Rio somewhat resurrect his Lucha Underground career with a return? Oh, yeah. I think he'd be welcome back.
Yeah, he will, but A, his price, and B, it'll have to be season 4, won't it? Because they've taken season 3.
Yeah, it would have to be season 4 would be the earliest they could get him in, and that, depending, I don't know how well that would work because I know they're done. The TV episodes we should actually finish everything up come around June or July, but that's not to say that they won't go ahead, say that at the beginning of 2017 and go ahead and start shooting season 4.
I bloody hope so. I loved how short the gap was between 2 and 3, season 2 and season 3, because in that gap you had the Cruiserweight Classic. So I like that. I think that's how it should work every year. They take a rest during the Cruiserweight Classic.
Yeah, that was actually perfect timing for Lucha Underground's part. In my honest opinion, I feel Lucha Underground might not trust Patron after his last run, and if he did return, I wouldn't be surprised if Paige followed along with him somehow, some way, laughing my ass off. No, because she's going to be under contract to WWE, and even if they do let her go, it's going to be a 90-day no-compete clause, and then you get all kinds of different legal stuff. I mean, yeah, she's going to follow him around like a damn puppy, but as far as her appearing, that's just going to be a whole can of worms that for stuff like that to happen. I don't feel like getting into.
No, that could be a whole different damn show.
Heavy J says, I enjoyed this episode. The Chavo Classic spot was great, and as usual, if you build a GM from the ground up, you get Dario Cueto.
Damn right. Dario Cueto and Randy Orton they are the tag team of the world. If they had a tag team, they would be the TNA tag champs, the Ring of Honor tag champs, the WWE tag champs, the Lucha. They'd be the trios champion because they don't need 3 members.
Mm-hmm.
They would be the IWGP tag champs. They'll be the AAA tag champs, the CMLL tag champs, the British tag champs. They would be it. That would be their team name. It.
Yeah, definitely. Will Vince McMahon be obsolete? Form WWE soon, or will WWE go out of bed? Okay, will Vince McMahon be obsolete? from WWE soon, or will WWE go out of business?
WWE will never, ever, 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 ever go out of business. Ever, ever, ever. Never. Ever. They will never go out of business, ever.
I mean, they're too big right now. I mean, and besides, even if they were starting to struggle, I mean, you can't tell me that Triple H and Stephanie wouldn't step in, or if not them, then certainly someone kind of investor would want to step in because, say what you want about pro wrestling, but WWE's a fucking cash cow.
It is. I mean, even Q3, every quarter they're making more and more and more money. It's disgraceful how the company that sucks the most has the most money, but it's sad how the business world works, to be honest, half the time.
Yeah, the real world isn't fair.
No.
All right, then let's see. If Tony Montana was a wrestling promoter, he'd be Dario Cueto. Yes. I think Heavy J is saying Lucha Underground is now in Germany on Ted Turner's network. I didn't know Ted Turner had a network in Germany.
That's interesting. I remember Rastin Ranting did a show on that on his YouTube channel. Check him out. And I remember looking at that and thinking, okay, maybe that's just looking too much into it, but it's still a start. Turner getting TNA and calling it TNT. That would be fucking brilliant.
Then the last question here is from actually, no, we got two more here. Chauncey Bullock, he says, Chavo Guerrero, will he return to WWE? I doubt it.
No, he's probably just doing agent for Lucha Underground.
Yeah, I think he's doing. Seriously, if you look on the ending credits, Chavo Guerrero has got a credit on there's like a consultant or something. It's right there on the show's about to go off the air. He's already got a credit, so he's doing something with them backstage. And why would he want to give up that gig to do? I mean, besides, if they bring him back to WWE, what's he gonna do?
Nothing. US title at a push.
He'll job. They'll put him, if he was to go back, they'd put him on SmackDown and they'd have him job to the younger guys. That's exactly what they do.
Yeah, it depends how much money they're willing to offer the guy, I guess. But if he loves Lucha and loves working with Lucha Underground, why give it up? Del Rio.
And then I think this is going to be the last question. Who would challenge Dolph Ziggler at Survivor Series? Well, right now he's doing that open. I think he's referring to the open challenge. The two names that come to mind for like a challenge for Dolph Ziggler, I think it's going to be Sami Zayn and maybe Neville.
Neville's a good shout. Cesaro, depending on what Cesaro is doing at Survivor Series, maybe he's in that 5-on-5 tag match with Sheamus. Or they might just do Cesaro versus Sheamus fucking again because that's WWE and they're not in the business of being awesome. Maybe Zayn, Neville, or Cesaro are the three I want to see. But who knows? Who knows with them? Who fucking knows? Seth Rollins isn't on a team yet. Oh, yeah, he is. Yeah, he was. My bad. I forget Raw sometimes. I forget Raw happened. My apologies. Sami Zayn or Neville would be a great shout. Titus O'Neil is the man to accept. That's Darren Young. Big deal. Titus O'Neil is my pick. Challenge Dolph Ziggler for the IC title.
Actually, I think it is going to be Rollins. He's going to wind up on the Raw team.
I think Rollins is on the Raw team. I thought it's Reigns.
Right now, I think they only have like 4. Monday. Yeah,
Strowman, not Joe. Fucking hell, Strowman, Owens. I called Joe and Owens the same. That's funny. Sorry, Strowman, Owens, Jericho, and Reigns. So that's 4. I don't know. Maybe Rollins accepts. Who knows? Who fucking cares? Is the better question. That is the better question. Who cares?
There you go. Let's see. Lucha Underground on tour, good for me. I'm wanting the best on El Rey to come to Detroit. Okay, hey, I'm waiting for it to come out here to the East Coast too, but I have to keep watching and waiting. In the meantime, I want everybody to check us out over at KocoSports.com. That's KocoSports.com. It's your home for all combat sports. It's where the world goes to kick ass, and most importantly, where it's okay to be a passionate fan. Also, be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. We've already got our reviews of Raw, SmackDown, NXT. Have you got TNA up yet?
No, I'm doing that for VIP only because I'm a money-grabbing, cock-sucking piece of shit.
There you go. And what? Oh, yeah, and I understand you and Sammy have got something coming up.
Yeah, we're doing a AAA Star Battles Japan review, but that's going to be for VIP only. Sign up for VIP, 1 week free trial. If you do not enjoy it after one day and you cancel, you will not be charged. You will not be charged one fucking penny. So do yourself a favor, subscribe right now at lkvip.podbean.com. If you're too lazy to type that in, links in the description box. Hit it up, enjoy. Yesterday, including the review we did of NXT, 4 fucking shows were uploaded yesterday. 4 the day before, 4 the day before, 3 the day before, 3 the day before that. It was Saturday, and I took the day off. So that being said, head over there right now, subscribe over there, help me out. Let's get this shit rolling. Thank you, Booms. Take it away.
All right, so thank you very much for joining us here, and we're going to have some more shows coming up. So, and I also got some positive news from Dave Koco. He's got his apartment. He would be here, but here's the problem. There was an issue with his apartment. Like, he's already had the bar put in. He's got a full stock bar there. But today the company was coming in, and they were putting in the stripper pole. But somebody fucked up somewhere. It was the wrong measurement, so they take it back to the shop. So they're going to have to, resize the stripper pole so they can properly mount it there in his apartment. And then he's got the hot tub coming next week. So, but once all that's taken care of and he gets the CPU and everything set up, he should be back and good to go. So, in the meantime, buy a copy of his book. Here, sorry, I'm not trying to do like a dramatic pause. I'm just trying to reach it. Get it here. Operation Freakshow. You can buy it on Amazon.com. Hard copy will cost you about $12-13. You can buy the Kindle version for like $2-3.
Yeah, I paid £2. I think it was £2.99 for English people.
Yeah, it's like $2 or $3 for the Kindle version. $12-13 if you want to buy the hard copy. They'll ship it right to your door. It's great. So be sure to check out Operation Freakshow. So this is Boom Boom for the rest of the Koco crew saying Boom just went bang, and I am out.